Good morning there. You're watching QTV this morning, and I am Jenna Basonko. Did you say we have a parrot outside?
There was a parrot outside our window.
Today?
Yes, today. I took video and photographs.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Parrot.
Beautifully colored one. Yeah.
Oh, nice. You have it?
Yeah, it's on my phone.
Oh, I wish you had your phone.
Yeah, I tend not to bring my phone in,
Okay.
but I'll circulate it. Beautifully.
Really?
They are not common now. I mean,
Parrots.
we used to have, we used to have parrots almost everywhere.
Yes.
When I was a little boy,
Right.
even at home.
Right.
You know,
And you know,
can
yes,
find parrots
growing
there.
up,
I knew people who kept parrots. Yes.
they made us believe that if you take pepper and tie it
Around the neck. of
round the
parrot.
neck of the parrot, it makes the parrot talk.
It makes what?
The parrot talk back.
Well, you know, parrots can talk, of course.
Parrots can talk, but
can mimic.
they're like some can't talk, so you have to do that. I just feel like growing up we were scammed. Like there are a lot of things, Mr. Ade, that we were told that are like not in existence.
Yeah, the
Why
only
is
thing
that?
I cannot
You
understand.
older people
well,
said a lot of things to
Trust
us.
it.
Why is that?
Because lots of older people said same things to us, so we passed it on.
I still can't understand why my mom denied me taking the head of the fish. Still now, I don't understand.
Well, my older brother told me something just a few weeks ago. He said that if he is walking somewhere and he walks into cobweb,
Yeah.
he never does this. He does this.
Why?
He said because when we were young, he was told that you should never do this to get it out. You should.
And
do
there is no
Oh
reason.
my God.
Apparently, it's bad luck if you do it this way.
You know, and people are believing in this. I mean,
People are.
what happened is even
And he said even now he does
even this weekend at home.
Yes.
You know, I had all this groundnut. When you peel the groundnut,
Yes, the husk.
That husk.
The shell.
I put it in the house, and my wife said to me, "This is not good for you to see this in the morning." I said to her, "What does it do?" And she laughed. She smiled. She cannot tell me. She can tell
They
me
never
the
tell you
reason.
the reason. you know, or if your right hand, if it itches, you just have to
You have money.
put it
They'll
around
tell
your
you.
stomach, so that when the money comes, it comes to you and it stays with
Or
you.
there is a funny sound that your ear makes sometimes.
And you know there are.
You know, and they'll tell you you'll hear either a good news or a bad news.
And you know there are people who will tell you about things like, don't call people's name at night.
Yeah.
But I hear it quite a lot, that and people, if they call their name, they don't answer.
Because something else is calling.
Something else is calling them. It's just fascinating stuff.
It's amazing.
Superstition.
Yeah, all of these things. But anyway, it just makes it fun.
It
makes
does.
life interesting.
It
you
does.
know?
It does.
If
But
this-
that one about the parrot, I never heard that one
Yeah,
before.
but it, Balde, musuloko de.
You'd heard that one? The parrot and the pepper.
No, Bobo musuma ko diga.
Why you guys? Okay, why you guys doing this to me?
No, I'm saying-
Might be that's her generation.
No.
You know me, it's generation before her generation.
We are in the same.
No, not the same generation.
Almost.
Actually.
How old are you,
You're
like?
in 1990.
Yeah, 1990 something.
I'm going to my 40s now.
You're going to your 40s?
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
my generation and your generation, it's a huge gap.
There's
So,
a huge difference.
So this shows me how this conversation right now, it's an intergenerational dialogue.
Absolutely.
1990s.
Yes. In the early 80s.
In the are you sure?
1955.
And then
1955.
Oh my God!
Exactly, you
This
see?
is interesting.
1955.
Yeah.
Big,
So quite a-
Big, yeah,
quite a
like
gap.
it's huge. But generally, you know, how did you guys spend your weekend?
My weekends have been fairly quiet normally recently. Yesterday, I wanted to sit down. I've got this beautiful desktop, which I got from our colleague Babuka Sise.
Yeah.
And because it's big, it's almost the size of a TV screen. So
Right.
I use it to watch documentaries and stuff. But we had 4 power outages yesterday.
Oh wow!
Just
Sorry
as I
about
was
that.
watching, whoop, it went out. Having said that, the longest it was out for a while was about maybe an hour and a half.
Oh, okay.
And the shortest was 20 minutes. But it's just annoying because it meant you had to plug it in again, start the film again, and then jump to where you were. And
Yeah,
so it's really annoying. So that was that. Then I was also preparing the stories for today's African News Roundup.
Right.
So it's kind of like a working day for me.
It is
Because I
kind
have
of
to
like-
watch about 20, 21 videos and then choose about 10.
Yeah, that's hectic, right?
Yeah.
I think maybe you should, be doing it on maybe Saturday or Friday, and then
Well, it's on
at
Mondays.
least your
It's Mondays
Sundays.
and Thursdays. So maybe we should shift it to Tuesday or
yeah,
something.
something, just so you're able
I have
to
a
relax.
Sunday
No,
off,
it's
yeah,
important.
but-
I think
but
you
yeah,
should do that.
yeah.
Yes, how about you, Ibrahim? The shop, same old thing? Tell me if it's the same old thing, we can skip it.
Well, I mean,
it's not the same old thing.
This weekend, I mean,
Just
yes, of course, the shop. But
Yeah.
at some point, I went to do some communal work, you know,
Okay.
around my area.
Oh,
you know,
nice.
it's important. Sometimes you go out, you know,
Yes.
go look at your community. When people are working, I mean, join them.
And you
Normally,
join
we do this on Sundays because, well, Sundays are the free time for people.
And of course, when
You
the weather's dry and
Yeah.
nice, it's not rainy, it's not muddy, it's not nasty, it's better to do it in that, even if it's hot, but at least it's better. I mean, I should have mentioned something.
Yeah.
I live on Coastal Road, and on Sunday, normally they don't work, but the people doing the OIC roadworks decided to work. We're grateful for the work they do, but I'm telling you, the vehicle I was driving, which was a company vehicle, was absolutely covered in dust.
Oh, wow.
As were the houses.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Dusty.
If you washed the car, it would have been a
You know,
pointless exercise.
I
know.
used that road on Saturday. I mean, I came to the office. From
Right.
here, I went to Bursubi.
Okay.
From there, I used the Yundum Highway.
Oh, right. Yeah,
I mean, I was like, I mean, how are these people living here? I mean,
Yeah,
I've
it's
missed
difficult,
using
no?
that road for the past 6 months.
for
I
those
can
of us
tell
who
you.
live there.
Yeah.
You know, it's a
difficult.
huge struggle.
But, you know, I about 3 months ago, I spoke to some of the neighbors, and I was quite surprised and pleased. All of them said, you know what, it's a bit nasty, it's horrible, but it's progress, and we have to put up with it.
Yeah.
Everybody said that, which is a good sign.
Yeah.
You know, that people know that, you know, as the saying goes, if you want to make an omelette, you have to break
Well,
some
at the
eggs.
end of
You
the time,
have to.
I know it takes time.
Yeah, it takes time.
But, you know, at the end, everybody will smile again.
Yeah,
And
that's
I'm also
just the
happy
part.
that the OIC project hits Bundung Road, and they've started doing
Nice.
what they're supposed to do.
Interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, so how was my weekend? I'll ask myself. So
Before we ask you.
Yeah, there's this Gambian woman who's actually specialized on, you know, skin. So she just opened this, you know, palo where she invited myself and Korka. So yesterday we kind of like had a free treat, you know. I was excited being there because this is somebody who was out of the Gambia for about 30 years just to learn everything skin related. She's not just operating an outlet just for the sake of operating it, but she knows the different skin layers, knows the different things that one needs to know. I think we need more
Which
of
is
that
good, yeah, sure.
because currently in the Gambia we see how much, you know, we have different beauty parlors, and these people, they call themselves self-taught makeup artists. I don't have a problem with anyone, but there are certain things that you need to learn because you're dealing with people's skin. It has to do with hygiene. People's skins are sensitive and everything. So let's do the right things. I mean, what's self-taught at the end of the day?
Yeah, it's true. I mean, because if you've
This is
done the
skin.
proper training, then you know which chemicals can and
What to apply
can't
and
what to
what
apply
not.
not to. Yeah, it's true. It's,
So
it's
I-
very important, but
yeah.
many people don't bother.
Yeah, so I think really we should accommodate her here subsequently in our subsequent programs, because I think people need to be educated about how to take care of their skins, what to put, what not to put. You
Only-
can see how much people are putting a lot of hydroquinone, you know, spoiling their skins and all of that. And, you know, I was also asking her about, you know, skill transfer, because at least maybe
Which is where I was going to come in.
some of
'cause you
these
said,
people call themselves self-taught. So to change that, at least maybe she can mentor some of these people.
she can set up an academy.
Or set up something where she can help the young people, because makeup classes and skin related classes is just all over the place and the expertise is not there, and it's
Exactly.
disheartening.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, because people just set up and say, I'm giving this, and they might be self-taught themselves. So, you know, all the bad habits that they picked
you
up
just
somehow,
pass it on
they
to
just
someone
pass it on to
else.
other people. So, but, you know, there are good ones out there.
There are.
And we need to encourage them, because
I-
it's a very, it's a growing industry.
It is,
and-
especially in Gambia.
But it needs to be done right. You're right.
Things need to be
Absolutely.
done right. So
Definitely.
what's the African proverb, Ibrahim?
Oh, yeah, it reads, if you wish to move mountains tomorrow, start by lifting stones today. If you wish to move mountains tomorrow, start by lifting stones today. And you'll be surprised, this African proverb was sent to me by a follower in Basse.
Oh, nice.
Yes,
Amazing.
by the name Cheboy.
Oh,
I mean, he
nice.
sent this to me and said to me, please, I follow the African proverb. Can you use this as your African
Oh,
proverb?
nice.
And you started by saying, what's a mountain? Because you don't have a single mountain in the Gambia.
You mean our Basse don't have mountain?
No.
We have
the whole of Gambia doesn't have mountains.
We have hills.
They showed me some of the hills, and for somebody from Sierra Leone, I just had to laugh because they're not hills. But so the proverb is
put together.
There's kind of they're like a slope, we would call it in Sierra Leone. But the proverb, I guess, it's about planning. If you want to achieve great things, it could even apply to something like. If you want to study and get good pass marks in your exam, put in the hours, put in the study. You know, don't just think, I'm not going to study, but I'm going to get top marks. The guy who does the studying or the woman who does the studying, they'll be the ones who get the top marks because they put in the work. So I guess it's kind of like that, you know, prepare well and you get a good result. Yeah, that's my reading of it. You know, there might be others. I'm sure there are other interpretations.
I mean, it's general and direct. I mean, this proverb. I mean, it's telling you have to start somewhere. There is no shortcut to success. You have to start. I mean, doing the little things. The little things matter. You understand? Sometimes I'll take a brighter example. You see, when you are to light a fire, you need the small sticks to put up a huge fire.
That's right.
So I think, you know, so it's all the same. I mean, it's telling you to start somewhere. We need the little things. The little things also count.
Yeah, put in place the right structures. It's like building a house. If you don't build the proper foundation, then you're not going to get the good house you want. You build a house and it collapses because why? You did not put in the foundation. So
yeah, I think generally that's just it. It's just, you know, it's just important sometimes in certain situations to kind of prioritize baby steps, because these baby steps actually lead to, you know, they matter. They lead to like bigger steps. That is why sometimes, you know, because now we're in the era of social media where people brand themselves, sometimes, you know, you don't post certain things. You are reluctant to actually post certain things on Facebook, certain achievements or certain milestones. And you're like, it's too small. I'm like, no achievement is small. You can feel it's small to you, but it's big, and that is going to accumulate and bring about a track record. A track record that you're going to use to actually sell yourself in the future.
I'm smiling because something happened yesterday. I belong to several forums on WhatsApp, and people have been discussing. And one of them, they'd been discussing a statement that was made by Jacques Chirac, former French president. And one guy said, I'm not going to believe in the truth of this until Adedarami verifies it.
Like, what? See?
I said, that's a big thing. He said, yes. He said, because every time somebody has posted something that everybody has then shared, and then you've always been the one who said to us, actually, this is fake news because you've done the research. So he ended up with me having to do the research, and I actually found the speech. And it's an interesting speech because essentially what Jacques Chirac was doing was he was complaining about how Europe has mistreated Africa. But they've always misrepresented the speech because they've not put it in context. Because he said for 400 years we have treated these people like our servants, our slaves. We've ripped off Africa and so on. They've kind of always posted it as if he was boasting at that, but that's not what he was doing. In fact, he was criticizing Europe. But the way that it's always been shared, like, oh, they've just taken the speech completely out of context. Because he then goes on to end it by saying, this has to change. We have to treat Africans as equals.
So which means
but they always leave out that bit. They always leave out that bit. And so, you know, I sent him the original speech. I managed from 2001, I think it was, in Yaoundé in Cameroon. So he said I was right.
So you know, that just shows how very little things that you do,
because I'd established a kind of reputation
for it.
You
know? So it's important.
I was quite pleased.
It's good, and these are how opportunities come. Track record. That's the generation we're in. You know, one thing you do does not determine where you get. It's about little things that accumulate, and then credibility comes in. Just in your, like, for example, your case. So I think it's very important. So Ibrahim, if you don't have an example on your path, let's now go for a short break. And when we come back, we'll just head right on to the newspaper review. We'll be right back.
Espas Motors is the largest and most modern auto service in the Gambia. Espas Motors is the only authorized dealer in Sherry, Mercedes-Benz trucks, Mercedes-Benz buses, Kia, Ford, and midi buses, futon trucks. At Espace Motors, we have qualified professionals who use modern technology to diagnose and repair all brands of motor vehicles. Espace Motors services include auto sales, auto repairs, vehicle painting, availability of high-quality spare parts, towing services. We are reachable at any time. Call Espace Motors on 352222 353-4444 or locate us on the Bertel Harding Highway. Espace Motors.
Welcome back from that short break. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV this morning. And now we're heading right on to the newspaper review. We're joined by our guest here, Ade Durami, to help us analyze some of the stories that we have on the papers.
Yes.
Ade
is with the paper. I'll allow Ade to go. Yes, go through the paper.
Okay. So I will start at the front, which is a good place to start. Customers cannot possess land they bought from B4U Properties. This goes on.
Chai, why now?
It's a detailed story, and we might delve into it. And then to the right, it says all defendants in Vrongo's 30 million case, Dalasi case, to appear in court. And then Serekunda MP donates hemodialysis machines to, Edward Francis Small. Well, that's good. Who is the Serekunda MP? We'll find out soon. Brikama Area Council registered over 88 million as revenue in 2020. Why are they telling us now in 2022? Yeah. Anyway.
Election is coming.
Feature story, Gambia Association in Libya, I didn't know there was such a thing, calls for speedy repatriation and restoration of diplomatic ties. I'm not sure we can restore diplomatic ties with Libya. It's not a functioning country at the moment. All these disputing. So Chief of Funny Berefet suspends land transactions in Canal Village and the prices of fertilizers and groundnuts. And this good one here, does silence mean consent with regard to the negotiation on fuel prices? And before I hand over to you, I must come to a sports story. We haven't heard from them for a long time. The Scorpions, Gambia's football team, national football team, are to play 2 friendlies next month. So this is good, and this is according to their Facebook page.
Oh, nice.
So I'll rest there for now.
Yes, so here, this is the point. Gambia groundnut price higher in sub-region. This is said by the Minister of Agriculture.
Did he say highest in sub-region?
Yes, higher in sub-region.
Oh, higher.
Higher in
Right.
sub-region.
Okay.
Yes, and also new British Prime Minister vows to pursue UK-Rwanda immigration plan. And also here, we have that Senegal seizes cocaine worth 24 billion CFA, and report on regional agricultural tour jointly undertaken by the Gambia National Council of Elders and Nigerian High Commission in the Gambia. And aside from that, we also have Finance Ministry sends alert on Facebook impersonation attempt.
Oh.
Yes. So I think there's something I read inside the foyer, which is very interesting. And also it came on QTV News, which has to do with the laboratory equipment that have been given to government institutions to ensure quality assurance.
Sure. I mean, that's it's vital because, you know, we've previously done stories saying we don't have this equipment and we're having to go to other countries to get a, you know, sniper and all that stuff. And now they've been given the equipment and they've been given the training, and we have been promised that it will be sustainable in the sense that it will be repaired, it will be looked after. They haven't just done a big thing where they've invited us and say, oh, PR stuff. Oh, look, photo op, we've got all this equipment. What we've been told is that it will be, you know, sort of properly
One thing I know,
serviced.
It's a good timing. It's a very good timing considering, you know, issues that we're dealing with.
Of course.
But, you know, we don't want it to be just PR because this is happening, this is donated, and people are like, things are going to change. You know, we want to be sure that people are, you know, the responsible individuals can use it. Like you mentioned, it's sustainable.
That's right.
And all of that. That is where the big question is at this point
this
in
is
time.
it. And the people who've donated it is WACOMP, West Africa Competitiveness Program in the Gambia. Field lab equipment for food safety, plant protection services, and agriculture extension services, and the Gambia Standards Bureau. long may this kind of donation continue. We can't get enough of stuff like this.
We can't.
You know, the more the merrier. So let them keep on donating.
Yeah. So also over the weekend, I saw the Q Group Foundation in collaboration with C3G, as well as the Medical Students Association of the University of the Gambia. You know, the medical students had their symposium and march past, and then Q Group Foundation and C3G had the breast cancer screening, as well as cervical cancer screening. I think that was really interesting. It was good that they had that. You know, but the thing is, there's a lot of, I feel like, you know, for the cervical cancer, there's a lot of problems attached because, you know, a lot of women, if it's an open screening, will not, they will feel like this person is going to know if I've done this person's gonna know if I've had sex, you know, so I think that's crazy. So for me, I think this should continue, whereby they set up like a private something where colleagues are not like there together, because every woman is going to go for breast cancer instead of cervical cancer because they don't want the next person to know if they're active or not. So that is a problem. Even if you're active, you don't want Jainaba to know that.
I would imagine there's an element of confidentiality in that.
That is
even
true.
If you go and get tested, only you will be told the results, and you're not going to be told it in front of everyone else.
But the fact that you go and test shows like the next person's going to automatically, because you get to feel in, the next person's going to automatically know that, oh, because people know that it's like the scraping of the cervix or something. So I think this should continue in a more private setting.
I hope you gave them that suggestion while you were there.
No, I wasn't actually there. Ajibintu was there because we had to swap for the news, and you know. But then that is one suggestion that I'm suggesting, whereby they continue this and do it in a more private area where a group of colleagues, maybe from the same institution, will not go together, but people can walk in at their own convenience.
It's a good suggestion because these things are needed, they're vital, and you know, people should not miss out because of
they don't want the next person to know if they've had sex
before. You know? So. It could end up saving your life.
Exactly. I mean, I think it should be.
But that's a good suggestion.
Yes, and that continues to show how, you know, things are still mindsets.
People's mindsets.
And people, you know, meddling into other people's affairs if this person's doing this or not. Like, I'm like, guys, that's.
Listen,
I don't get it.
That's the society for you.
It's the world. There are people who spend more time on other people's business than their own. That's all over the world.
And funnily, Mr. don't you think if we say women should be virgins when they're getting married, then men should be as well when they're getting married?
Of course.
Let the man has to be, because the man, we cannot test the man to check if the man is a virgin or not. But as long as we, you know, this mindset should change. If you have your children, allow me, please. I knew you were going to. I knew she was going to.
She had taken off.
Mr. Ade,
let her have a
what I'm
soft landing.
saying is, I'm talking to parents right now. You have your girl child, you have your boy child. You're concentrated on what your girl child is doing, if your girl child is having sex or not, because you know that it can be tested, the evidence can be there, and evidence sometimes that is not even evidence, because some people are born without the hymen. You know, and sometimes you're born with the hymen, but as you grow, it actually just fades. That is there. The statistics are there. These are not things that we're making up. But the thing is, parents have to take up the responsibility of encouraging the boy child to be. And funnily, when a boy child is a virgin, they laugh at you, and when a female child
I've seen it in our office.
Then they start bullying you because you're not a virgin. What is that?
It's the kind of unfairness of the society. You're right, because even in our office, you know, they tease one of our colleagues saying, "Oh, you're a virgin."
Still, he should be proud of it,
and he should be proud of it, and that's what I told him. That's what I told him. I said, "You should be proud of it. Nothing to be ashamed."
Well, I don't know for women, but there is no such thing like a virgin for men.
Excuse me.
Men, obviously, before you grow up, when you get to a certain stage, you dream.
You dream.
And once you dream, you are normal. I mean,
who said women don't feel the same way?
I mean,
you think women don't? Men
women feel
that's why.
But the thing is, it's whether you
that's why I said I don't know for women. I am talking for the men, not for the women.
Mr. Ade, I am a woman, and I know hormones are there before, like, and this happens before you see your period and after you see your period. I'm bold to say it here, but women know what I am saying.
Can we do this conversation again, maybe next time?
These are the uncomfortable conversations that we are supposed to have. The issue of Gur cannot be a virgin, but a woman should be. For real? Let's be honest to each other, please.
Those that are virgin, let them be.
We will have to have a special show where we will
yes,
invite
I think
need to talk about
these are
this.
things that Jigen should talk about. I mean, we have a program called Jigen.
Why just Jigen?
Let Jigen
Men
talk about
should
it.
be as well.
We invite men on Jigen program.
Why not Viewpoint?
Viewpoint, you
Viewpoint, we have our own
dialogue.
direction.
You know.
So let's move. What do we
have
have
to
there
be
again?
open-minded about these
Let's
things.
proceed.
Yes. So
We cannot open
there's
our
one
minds to
story.
other
There's one story I wanted to take here, which I actually didn't mention, and that is Foreign Minister Tangara attends 8th Dakar International Forum on Peace Security in Africa. Also there, as well as the Foreign Minister Tangara, was Amnesty International, and what they said was in their press release afterwards, they said that the space for freedoms are being squeezed in West Africa because of coup d'etats and because of how certain governments are behaving. And they're saying to West Africa, please watch out. You're in danger of building a series of authoritarian states, and you're squeezing people's freedoms. So that was quite interesting. You know, to go. So it wasn't just people went there, they chatted, they did this and so on. So the opening ceremony was attended by President Macky Sall, President of the Republic of Senegal, João Lourenço, President of Angola, and José Maria Neves, President of Cabo Verde.
Yeah, I saw the images. I think it was a whole big thing.
It's a huge thing.
Yeah,
it was a huge thing. Yeah, and they sent their presidents and prime ministers, and we sent our foreign minister.
Mr. Ade, when you look at the issue of peace in Africa, I mean, I think sometimes our leaders are the problem. I mean, a leader, you rule for many years. I mean, you try going for different terms. I mean, if you get coup d'etat, you are the one who imposed that coup d'etat on you.
You've invited it.
You understand? You've invited it on yourself. You know? So I
got
think sometimes it's greediness. I mean, it's to be rapacious. I mean, it's
for real.
Yes, it's to
rapacious.
put. Yes, you are the one. You are the one putting these things on yourself.
You're bringing, because you know, we can point to several who've been in power for either close to or more than 30 years. So you've got Kagame in Rwanda, you've got Museveni in Uganda, you've got Paul Biya in Cameroon, you've got in Equatorial Guinea, what's his name, where our friend is hiding out. I mean, I think he's the longest serving. And then you've got in Congo, not DR Congo, but the Republic of Congo. Again, that president has been there for 35 years. So you have all these people who, and in the case of Museveni and Kagame in Rwanda, the rumors are that both of them are grooming their sons to take over from them.
And when you look at all these coup d'etats that happen that happened recently, all these coup d'etats are led by young men. Men that are in their 20s,
that's always been the way.
Or not more than 30s. You understand?
It's always been
so you can see people
don't
have time.
Gambia.
Yeah, I
yes,
1994.
People don't have time for skipping up or staying with the older generation. If you stay for more than 30 years or 25 years,
you don't have time for them.
Well, let's take the Gambia example.
Yeah.
He took over in 94 and then stayed for 22
years.
years.
He stayed for
so it doesn't mean anything.
Now, who voted him out?
The
youngsters. The younger
not just
generation.
only the youngsters.
Everybody
the younger generation.
You know what my problem is?
Yes.
At the end of the day, they're not sincere.
Yeah.
They're
that
not sincere in the sense that they repeat the same thing.
That is the problem here.
You take Colonel Doumbouya now in Guinea. I mean, he just went to Sierra Leone and caused quite a stir because they came with tanks and armored personnel carrier, and people thought, are these people coming to invade Sierra Leone? So, I don't know why he did that. You know,
that was wrong.
It's ridiculous. But having said that, people came out in their hundreds of thousands to welcome him. You know, and when people get that, can you go back to being an ordinary soldier? Trust me, in 2 years' time, when they say we're going to go for civilian rule, he's going to stand because you've become used to being in power. You cannot go back to just being
what I am trying to put here,
an ordinary soldier.
If you rule for many years, look at Yaya Jammeh. I mean, those that I can tell you, all the kids that were born in '94. They voted against Yaya Jammeh. Most of them voted against him. They don't care about him. They don't know him. In fact, these people don't know him.
No, the ones, in fact, I think it's the other way around. Because since I came here, when I was quite disappointed that a lot of the young people felt that he was a good president, because that's all they had known. He was a bad president, but he was the only president they had known. So they didn't know what a good president was. And I used to have arguments with them. So I don't subscribe to that at all, because that's all they knew.
Not all of them.
Listen, I barely met any young person who told me
we
that
all used to
I
go
felt
and
it was
welcome
a bad.
Yaya Jammeh, primary school.
Yes.
We used to go welcome
but
Yaya
growing
Jammeh.
up
It used to
with
annoy
that
me.
mentality, because that's the mentality you had. I mean, now it changed.
That is when the truth came out.
It changed gradually, and people don't care about that anymore.
I think it's a combination of people who voted against
Like
him. But
kind
if you
of
said it was young
brainwash.
people, all young, I don't hold
But
that.
when you look at it,
Because lots of young people voted for him.
When you
No,
look at it, most,
and I'm with you on that. A lot of young people did vote for Yaya Jammeh.
when you look at it, not all.
I'm not saying
she
we're not
said
saying
a
all,
lot.
but
I know,
a lot,
of
because
them.
we were brainwashed.
When you look at the number and the percentage of, I don't have the statistics here, but if you look at the number of youth that voted against Yaya Jammeh, it's a lot.
No, statistic, Bobo. What are you using to back it?
Where would you get that stat?
That's why I said I don't have it here.
Well, we
You
are
understand?
telling you,
So
using common sense actually
no.
shows that young people at the time were brainwashed. People my age, 1996, coming down.
That's the problem That's the problem. Many people supported Jammeh because they were brainwashed.
We are on the same page now, which means you're agreeing now with what we
They
are
were
saying.
brainwashed. But I'll tell you, but at the end of the time, they realized it. You understand?
That is when
and they
it came
voted
out.
against him.
Listen, when I used to have this argument with these young men who would come to the house, and they were all, NPRC and APRC supporters, and I used to say to them, I said, you know what you remind me of? You remind me of somebody who is in prison. And because your prisoner brings you 3 meals a day, you think he's a good person, and you think he's beneficial to you. But he has imprisoned you. But you don't even know anything different, because the prison is all you know. And the person who has imprisoned you is the one who's feeding you in the morning, afternoon, and the evening. And you think, oh, he's a good man. He's giving me 3 meals a day.
There was no option.
We used to get biscuits.
You understand? Because there was no
course.
option.
Yes.
You understand? So when we had options, I mean, we changed.
These guys I used to argue with, they were 19. The eldest was only 22.
And Mr. Ade, you know what? I was even a victim. Let's be honest here. We used to go teru Yaya Jammeh and stuff. And also, judging by the figures that Yaya Jammeh got, people voted for Yaya Jammeh.
Lots of people voted for him.
Lots of people voted for Yaya Jammeh.
The statistics are there.
And the argument is that even if Mama Kande wasn't there to actually take that portion, because Mama Kande took from APRC militants, because he was from there.
Yeah.
That is the analysis of the whole thing.
A lot of people
so generally, what I'm trying to put here,
about,
I mean,
not just about Jammeh, but African leaders.
African leaders, sometimes they are the ones that instigate all this coup.
Okay, let's look at the 3 coups in West Africa, current one.
Yes.
Burkina Faso, Mali, and Guinea. In none of those, really, Guinea-Conakry, you have somebody who had been there too long. But in Chad and Burkina Faso, the person who was overthrown hadn't even been there for 1 year.
Yes, but I can speak in the case of Guinea-Conakry. You understand? We all know at some point the people of Guinea were okay of Alpha Condé. You understand? He wanted to change the constitution, I mean, to suit his needs.
Of course,
you understand?
Yet again.
So people don't want that. And the military have seen an opportunity, and they capitalize on that.
And Alpha Condé, I think is similar to, what Jennifer was saying earlier. These people, they're deceptive. Because when they're not in power, they say all kinds of crazy stuff. I interviewed Alpha Condé after he'd been released from prison by Lansana Conte, and he went to London. And my first question to him was, can you describe what it was like being in prison? Everybody called him Prof. And he said, the terms of my release are that I cannot speak about that. I said, okay. Can you talk about the fact that Lansana Conte wants to change the constitution? He said, I can't talk about that either. I'm like, so what are we going to talk about, football? In the end, we had an interview. But he was so certain that if he ever became president, he would not be one of these who would tinker with the constitution. And he tried to do exactly that once. When you're not in power, you can chat rubbish and say, I won't do this, I won't do that. But when you've tasted it, you don't want to
President Barrow even said it in an interview, I can remember.
About, you can say anything
before being president, but the moment you become president, you can say what you want to do.
Yes. All right, so it's telling you how our African leaders think. And I am against of this ECOWAS thing. I think ECOWAS, They are only here to make noise.
Which ECOWAS thing are you against? The troops being here or what?
Not only not the troops, but the ECOWAS body itself. I mean, I think the places where they're supposed to intervene, they don't intervene there.
That's what I'm talking about. You're talking about the military
not
element
of not the
ECOWAS.
military element.
Because ECOWAS is more than...
I'm talking about...
ECOWAS is about more than that.
I mean, the leaders coming up and forming this ECOWAS thing.
What does the name say?
But
Economic
really,
Community of West African States. It's meant to be about economy. It's not meant to be about intervention in people's business, really.
Yes,
I mean, you know.
but we have seen them intervening in certain matters. I mean, when Jammeh refused to go, they were here.
In Sierra Leone,
you know, in certain places. I mean, they portray us, they are the ones standing for Africa. They are the one trying to protect the interests of, West Africa, protecting the interests of, you know, African nations.
Mali, Burkina Faso, and Chad, they've put sanctions against them because of what has happened, you know, and they blocked them, you know, so they do have... And
the worst thing we have, some of them are among the African leaders who are part of the ECOWAS. I mean, they cling into power for many, many years, and they refuse to go.
ECOWAS?
Yes.
Name some.
Well, they are there.
We don't have...
Alpha Conde was part of ECOWAS.
Yeah, he's one person in ECOWAS.
He was part of it. And they are the people that propagate. I mean...
Yes, but he's no longer there.
Yes, he was part of them.
Yeah.
Okay, gentlemen.
No.
Order in my house.
No, we're just trying to put this thing across. We are trying to make it clear. Sometimes the things they say and the things they do is totally different.
That's across the world. It's not just... Well, the reason I'm taking issue is because you're saying it's ECOWAS or it's Africa. It's across the world. Look at Vladimir Putin. How many years has he been in power? Coming up to almost 30 years now. You know.
So finally, before we head right on to Community Watch, Ms. Ade, what's your take on conservative leadership, you know, in the UK?
Well, I've never ever voted for the Conservative Party because of their sort of right-wing anti-immigration type policies. And what I find quite ironic is that somebody like Rishi Sunak
is saying,
and even Suella Braverman, who he has appointed as his Home Office minister, they're the children of immigrants.
Yeah.
And I think they want to prove their Britishness or their whiteness. I'm not sure which.
Doing.
So they've come out with this really very strong I mean, the whole Rwanda, sending people to Rwanda thing, it's almost over a year since the institute. Not one person has gone on one single flight to Rwanda. They should just drop it. It's an embarrassment.
But now he's saying
he's going to revive it again. He can revive it and it'll be just as embarrassed as his predecessors were. There's nothing he can do that's different to what has been tried and failed. They need to drop it as a failed policy, but it appeals to their voters. And having said that, let me say this. If his candidacy had gone to the voters of the Conservative Party, he would not be Prime Minister. The last time he stood against Liz Truss and others, they didn't vote for him, even though everybody agreed he was the best candidate. Why? Because he's not white, and that's from his own party. You know, so let him not try and, you know, they're all attacking British. Trevor Noah because he talked about, you know, some racist people didn't want him to be Prime Minister. Trust me, some racist people in his own party did not and do not want him to be Prime Minister. So they can whitewash it any way they want, but that's the fact.
It's, you know, the fact that it's the same ideology over and over.
It doesn't matter. It's the same ideology,
that's
as you say.
That's the thing.
So,
you know, it's just the person changing, but, you know, conservative.
And he's proven it by talking about this Rwanda thing.
It's another bumpy road. Looking forward to how far he can go, you know. That's the point.
If he's brave enough, he should call a general election and see whether the people are with him. He might get a nasty shock.
Yeah, might be. But anyway, thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Heated debate on different issues.
Which is how it should be.
How it should be. And the reason why we're seated here is to have the uncomfortable conversations. Conversations that, you know, sometimes people in a normal circumstance will not have. And, you know, we have a talk about it. And it's, you know, just left to you to make the informed choices that you have to. So from that, we're going right on to Community Watch. We have a young Gambian writer launching a book called Under the Spell of Poetry. So we will go for a short break, and when we come back, we will head right on to that. Don't go anywhere.
QMoney is back again with its easy-to-use, secure and convenient mobile app that allows you to carry out all your transactions. No matter where you are or what time it is, you can always access your funds. With the new QMoney app, you can cash in and out, buy credit, buy QPower, shop, make payments, and so much more. You can also send QMoney, pay bills, receive international remittances, and transfer cash to others. Just download the app from your Play Store or App Store and get started. For more information, call customer care on 133. Q Money, Sinu Calpe. We innovate, others follow.
Q Money, the biggest mobile money service in the Gambia, has taken mobile banking to the next level. Now, you can link your Q Money wallet with your bank account. Yes, link your Ajib or EcoBank accounts with your Q Money wallet and get instant access to your cash anytime. No need to queue at the bank anymore. Transfer funds from your bank account to your wallet or your wallet to your bank account using Q Money Bank Link is the fastest, most secure, and convenient way to transfer funds between your wallet and bank account. For more information, call our customer care on 133. Q Money, Sunyu Kalpe. Terms and conditions apply.
Save up to 50% energy with the new side-by-side Samsung refrigerator. Samsung air conditioners come with HD filter and antibacterial for your protection. Save time, energy, and effort by using our washing machines, loaded with innovative features that offer superior cleaning technology. Step into the future of television with our slick and slim Samsung Smart TV designs. Sizes range from 32 to 85 inches. Smart LED, Crystal UHD Ultra High Definition, and QLED Quantum Dark LED. Get new ways of interacting with your TV. Unparalleled vision, right from the comfort of your living room. Our products are backed with 1-year warranty. Visit us at QCell Building at Caraba Avenue or at Boosterview Turntable. Contact us on 333-217 or email us at info@quantumnet.gm. As the fastest growing GSM company in the Gambia, QCell has the widest 4G plus coverage in the country, 3 times faster internet speed than our competitors. So switch now. Just dial *335.
QCell, GSM company minna yirwa tariata Gambia Bankoka. QCell la 4G plus network ya banko bela mura. Andung ala internet o tariata sidula saba kata.
Welcome back from that short break. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV this morning. And now we're heading right on to the Community Watch. A young Gambian writer is launching her book under the style of poetry. Safia Tujouf, thank you so much for joining us on the program. Maybe you can just pass me the book just so they see the cover and know. Yes, so first of all, before we talk about the book, you know, when did you start writing?
Poetry.
Yeah.
2014.
2014. Okay, what's your motivation?
Because I see like it's important that some of the things I've seen in the Gambia when it comes to our issues, life itself, entirely, it's important to express myself through poetry. Okay. And that's the only language I can speak for now.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I was going to say why poetry and why not some other form of expression, but you said that's the only way you can express. So when you said 2014, was that when you wrote the first poem that you then read out to people,
okay.
or what was the process? How did that happen?
Okay, it was an inspiration that came naturally, because I could remember back in 2014 when I saw online application for poets, you know, to go and perform in South Africa. Oh. So I told my sister, I want to write a poem about Africa, because that was the title. Yes. And she encouraged me and told me, why not? Because you're good into the English language when it comes to, though I'm very, very good at mathematics. That's what I'm known for. Yes. When I started at first, and my sister, you know, pushed it, and then I wrote the poem. I sent it to them. I was rejected, you know, part of the selection. And I took that zeal and said, okay, this is not going to change my mood or my way of thinking. I'm going to take this to another level. And I believe in myself. this is what I can.
And the poem about Africa, what was it called? The reason I ask is because
They Overgrace Our Land. That was the first poem I wrote, and it was published by GTTV by then, the Gambia Talent Promotion. Yeah, and people have to call me over and tell me, you know, what you did was really
it touched
yeah.
people. Yeah, I wrote a poem called "Of Africa and Africans," and in some schools in London they read it every Black History Month.
Oh, nice.
Okay,
So
that's nice.
I can relate to that. I started writing poetry when I was about 9 years old.
Oh, wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, so that's why I wanted to be here to talk to you, because when you said what's the motivation for me, in fact what I wrote at 9 I wouldn't call poetry. It was more kind of just rhyming stuff. I was good at rhyming.
Oh, nice.
Because if you're good with the language you can rhyme and so on. So that's really what I started writing rhymes rather than poems as such, and then it's kind of broadened out. But I look at the book and it's quite thick. So how many poems are in the book? Do you know?
114.
That's a lot.
That's ambitious.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it took me 2 years to put this together.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So when you were writing, were you always writing with the intention of I'm going to have these in a book as a kind of compendium, or were you just writing as the inspiration came anyway?
As the inspiration is coming, I write. That's why I name it Under the Spell. When I'm under that spell, nothing can distract me. It's only poetry that can take me to that level. And that being said, I said, okay, it's important as Gambians. Why not? I have to keep this for a purpose, protected, and purchase for the society to benefit from it.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Well, I mean, going through the book, I mean, I've seen you've touched a lot of, I mean, happenings in the Gambia. I've seen the likes of Halifa here, I've seen Solo Sanding, I have seen the National Assembly, Syria Jata. Poetry itself, it's its own language. I mean, you need to understand the language before. How are you going to to send this language to the people? For people like me, I don't understand poetry. I can read, but I cannot digest the information itself. What can I do?
Are you sure?
Really?
Well, yes.
Yes.
When I look at it, for example,
just giving her a test now.
Yeah. So what are you going to do for a layman to understand?
Well, give her a book and let her read something from it.
Yeah. You know, most of my poems, I perform them. I don't write it in a book.
Yeah.
So I have a YouTube channel that I'm going to work on it now to get a website that we'll be launching on the day. It will be a platform only for my book and also all the poets that are in the Gambia to push them, because we need that kind of a platform whereas our work can be seen. And I find it difficult then if I have to write how many people will read it, how many people can get access to my work. So that being said, I told my manager that I need this website in order for people to understand what is in this book. That being said, I will have to, after the launching, we are going to make a video shooting of these poems.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Whereas it will be featured on my YouTube channel at the same time on Facebook, that of our website, and you will get connection to it. Okay. Maybe you can watch that video and then open the book, go through it. You will understand.
Are you planning to translate that to the local language?
They would
local language. That is another project. It's not an easy thing. The Writers Association of the Gambia are doing very well. People like Mosaba, I'm trying to liaise with him. So henceforth, we're going to take a classes over, let's say, 6 months to focus on writing in our own language. Yeah, because this is the only way our people can get awake. It's not about, I don't feel proud writing in my English language. Though it's not my mother tongue, yes, it's an international language, but then if I have to put it into my own language, people get the message better than any other thing. I've tested it in some part of the things we do when we go outside to perform. When I read the language in my own mother tongue, Mandinka or what, people get it, like they feel it more than even if I have to put it in the English language. So that is one part I want Gambians to focus on.
I mean, the beauty and the difficulty of language or our own languages is that if you write something and it scans or it rhymes in English, you might not get the same scan and the same rhyme in Mandinka, Fula, or whatever, and it becomes quite difficult. I remember years ago I went to a reading of an Eritrean poet. I didn't understand a single word of it, but the beauty with which the people were reading it, all of us there who didn't even understand the language, and you know the way they were putting we gave him a standing ovation. It was fantastic, you know, and I didn't
Even
understand a
if you
word
don't
of it.
understand the language, but hence the message, you know, it's totally different when it's in your mother tongue. It's very important we focus on that.
Yeah, nice. So we saw that the president's inauguration, you delivered a poem there, you know. How did that feel? How was that experience?
I felt very special, and then again, my message was able to reach at a higher range. Okay, part of it is that I was able to write in something that is catching towards our issues to remind the president about the issues that we are facing in our country.
Right,
so that alone is something remarkable.
Okay. So what was the poem's title again?
The river we drink as it glims.
And can I just say to whoever's calling Safiatou while she's on air, please, she's not going to pick up your call. Okay.
So do you want to, you know, give us a few lines from that?
Yeah, I can give you a few lines because it's here in the book.
Let's see whether Ibrahim Abalde will understand.
And that is
Yeah,
for...
because he said he's
a layman.
fine.
Okay, Ibrahim said that he will not understand.
Yes, I mean...
Okay.
So, please.
The river we drink as it glims, as it flows from the footage along highland, it is the river's peace that will redeem. It is the love that dispersed to our streets as the breeze touches the different parts of our country. To see the little girls smile as they fold their hands of dreaming and growing in our lucky land. The old people dance with their beautiful African stories, remembering the thoughtful tunnels, the green vegetables as we weld for the future with grind, singing with you our story of our blessed motherland. The deaf and the blind behold, for their chants will arise, the hailing of one voice for their chants. Okay, the hailing of one voice, a fresh breath to our democracy. When the river flows into our doorsteps, we hook to the promise of our president. Together we wash our hands in the river to amend the security forces. Together we monitor the button of our criminals as we march with various troops. Together we enforce the control of our traffic drivers. For our safety should be of significance. The new Gambia, for our Gambia, the youths are the future olives, in whose screams we should apply the futuristic moments of truth, for in your government we trust. To ripe us with opportunities for quality jobs. Together we battle against tribalism, strengthening the peaceful coexistence of living. For our votes were unpurposed. We pray that thou shalt act to reflect our land into a greater good, thus make the hopes of our case fruitful, to reconcile, heal our wounds, give justice to whom it's due, the fight for corruption in our breeds, to help the underprivileged in our midst. When the day begins to decline, we pray for our fathers never died, embracing the beautiful cultural norms our ancestors have laid the foundation. When we give our economy a taste of freedom, it will enlarge the provisional visions. So give what is due to the needy, that he may reward those who believe out of his bounty, for he loves not those who reject faith. Giving you a taste of his grace, we hope the Gambia ship may sail, thou seest raindrops issues from the mist. The river is a stream with a strand, evergreen boundaries as it bangs. For our country, the Gambia, we swim with farmers.
Amazing.
That's lovely.
Do you understand it or you don't understand it?
It's love to hear it. I mean,
Excuse me?
I love hearing this.
Let's ask him the question. Do you understand?
He can hear you.
Well, I'm digesting it.
No.
Now I'm digesting
you
it.
understand?
I think this is lovely.
Amazing.
I'll come take some classes. You know.
How much is that about?
Now let's talk about the launching.
Okay.
Very important.
Yeah.
Yes.
As far as you don't mention any sponsor here.
Okay, no problem. The luncheon is going to be at Sada, the Kirabajawaris conference, and the time is 3 p.m.
Okay.
Today?
It is no.
Oh.
On the
It's
5th.
on the 5th.
It's
Yeah.
on the 5th of November.
You are already
November.
at the Sada, the Karaba.
Yeah.
Yes, inshallah. So I want it to be in a form of a conference, that at least we will have 14 tangible, let's say strong women that will speak at least 5 minutes each. And then we'll have 14 also on the side of men.
Ballet can be one of them.
And
I wanted to give Mr. Ade at least. You should be there.
Yeah.
It's very important,
So
Mr.
I took
Ade.
some from the University of the Gambia. Okay, some on the side of the NGO.
Nice.
I try to pick in, you know, in
Diverse.
different to make it
Yeah.
diverse. Yes,
Yeah.
it's important
Yeah.
because that day I want it to be a night of inspiring. At the same time, you get a little bit of education, you know, on the different things, and you will take something.
Yeah,
back.
but for me personally, I'm happy about the fact that she has a lot of sponsors, because I saw your flyer and saw a lot of logo. Obviously, these are individuals who got to like bring in something.
Yes.
So which means mindsets are changing about poetry in the Gambia, and people are
Definitely.
putting in the support.
Yeah,
I
big
think
time.
that's a good thing.
And you know, the surprising thing is that when I started the marketing, I was able to sold out 500 copies before the event.
Oh no, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
good.
So most likely I will print maybe 300 extra for the day
Okay.
of the
And
event.
people
inshallah.
watching are asking the one question, how much?
$500 each.
Okay.
But if I'm to sell it outside, because it's going to be on Amazon,
Okay.
that will be a different price for it, because I need
500
for the
per-
Gambians.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
What about getting it to schools and,
Yeah. I was.
Yeah, schools.
and so
I have some numerous schools that contacted me already, so that is in the pipeline.
Nice.
It's just after the launch, and I will try and start that project to go to schools like the DEFT, you know,
Yeah.
community, because they need us back, and yeah, some public schools as well, private schools as well, like Staff is International, something like
nice.
that. Yeah, they spoke to me that I should go and have a meeting with them. So this school also, I don't know, Rose Astu,
Okay.
something like that.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
we will have to.
So I guess more schools will be reaching
Yes,
out. now.
inshallah.
We
Yeah.
hope so.
You know, poetry in Gambia is never a marketable
But
stuff.
that
So
narrative is
yeah, but
It's all right. Go
okay.
ahead.
Wait. Excuse me. That is changing.
We burn,
it's
we ba-
changing,
we
but
banned the
it's very
phrase.
slow.
Yes.
When you compare it,
Yes.
okay. But alhamdulillah, definitely, some will tell me you are lucky because you have your first book and able to make this breakthrough. It's something
Well,
I
you're
was
right.
so
I
I'm
mean,
giving back everything to the Gambians.
But I
That's good.
think
they made it
selling
happen.
poetry is difficult anywhere, not just in the Gambia. I think you need to know that, because even in America and in Britain and so on, people who write poetry and just identify themselves as poets, a lot of them struggle. But what has changed the landscape somewhat has been performance poetry, as you say. You write them not just for the page,
You perform them.
but for things. And so the poetry that I write as well,
It's
I also say to people, it's to be read out aloud. But then I started thinking, well, what if I'm not there to read it aloud?
Then
So I then
people-
started changing so that you can just sit and quietly digest.
Also, I think Obama, was it Joe Biden's inauguration, the fact that was Amanda, I think that also was like a boost.
And it inspired people.
Yeah, it inspired
Yeah,
people a
yeah,
lot. So I think, more of these things.
Great.
Yeah, she did great, right? Yeah, so
Just
final words.
remind us the time.
Yeah,
Okay.
Don't forget the time.
yeah, for the lunch.
For the luncheon,
Yeah.
3 p.m. Inshallah. Yeah.
On the 5th.
On
And
the
the
5th.
copies
It's
are
going to be on
$500.
Saturday. Yes. And the
Available at Timbuktu?
it will be available.
Okay.
Do you have a
After
Q
the-
cell number?
Yes, I have.
Would you want it on air?
No, no, please. No, 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 no.
People
Crazy
can
sources.
support.
Yeah, so you do your marketing online, because we don't want any chaos, like some
Yeah.
chaotic situation, because people can be chaotic.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for joining
Thank
us,
you.
Safia, too.
Right.
And we are wishing you good luck on
the
the
best of
launching.
luck.
Best of luck, and the
with
fact
it.
that it's not just a launching, but another event where people can come together, some sort of a conference.
Yeah.
And the fact that you choose the Kaira Bajawara Center is ambitious and it's good. And we want young people to be ambitious and just push and do more.
Thank
So
you.
Ibrahima, till we come their way tomorrow with another interesting program.
Yeah, so
And
Mr.
I
Ade.
will say on air that I will buy a copy for Ibrahima.
What about me?
wow, that's a promise.
What about me? The narrative
No,
needs
you
to change.
you
Well, I
don't
was
need
The
it.
actually-
narrative needs
I was
to
actually going to say I was going to buy 10 copies to give to various colleagues. So I guess I'll start with.
So
my
you're going to
co-
buy 10 copies?
Yes,
Mr. Ade, you are a real VIP.
No,
Okay.
I love poetry.
How many copies are you buying? Excuse me.
They already bought a copy.
No.
for me.
How many copies
So
are you buying?
I don't need to buy a lot of copies. I already got one.
Whatever.
Yes.
Come your way
No.
tomorrow.
Thank you.
Bye for now.
Thank you. Yeah.